Okay, part two. I knew I couldn't get that all in a 15 minutes. Anyone knows any good recording programs? I don't mind if I have to pay for them. I just need something that works like this. I haven't been able to find any. I've paid for many in the past, and they're just not what I'm looking for. But I'm looking for something where I can edit the videos, it's real easy, add stuff to it. But for the time being, that's the best thing that I've found is Screencaster, I think it is. But anyways, that's just how the easy way to send in your replacements, how to get your host to do a lot of the work for you, and keep everything organized. Now, for start keeping track of your data, this is actually quite easy. But for the time being, we are going to add dimples because we have to add these as your hosts in order for the data to track. We actually got to go to the events. We're going to add. Actually, this should be on the sign up. I got to change the coding on this. I have this one backwards. But you're going to add your host IDs here. This one I did it. I had to do a customized one. I didn't do the page for another agency, so this one's backwards. So we're going to pop dimples in there, and then we're going to pick the next person, which is Big Z. So we're just going to pretend these two are your hosts so you can see how all the data gets calculated of events. Okay, so once we add these in, as you can see, it automatically started calculating the host. Like Dimples has one event today, which we know about. We just put on the schedule. It's a theme. Big Z obviously has two today. He's got a theme and a friendly. And as you can see, as simple as adding your host ID, it also lets you know what they have the next day and the day after. And then if you go on to the daily tabs and stuff, or when they're coded, you can find which events they are. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the schedule after your day is over with. It's up to you if you want to keep screenshots or rebates on here. I'm probably going to remove this section from mine because it really doesn't work the way I thought it was going to work. But you do want to mark them on your monthly data so that you know which screenshots were sent in. If you send them in, if you don't send them in, you don't need it. But at least it lets you notify that your host completed it. So for this example, we're just going to copy these cells. You're going to do this before you reset your day. And then you're going to go to your events. We're still under January here, so we're using this as an example. And we are just going to paste that in there. Now, as you'll notice here, total events done already changed for Dimples. It's already changed for Big Z. It shows both of them done. Just say Big Z. For some reason, this is not in color, so we need to change that to black. Change that whole column since it. Oh no! That ain't what we do. That's not how we do it. All right, so just say Big Z here missed this event. All right, so what you want to do, you really don't want to drop and drag this section because sometimes it messes the coding up. So what you want to do is you want to copy it. You want to go to the incomplete, do paste special value only, and then you want to delete that out of there. You can type in no show if you want. But then again, these are all going to be color coded. So now once you put his ID in the incomplete, now when you look over here, it shows he was scheduled one event and he had an incomplete, which this will be coded red. Like I said, this is an example. But then it shows his percentage at 0%, and it's showing Dimples' percentage at 100. So just for instance, if we rather than putting more on here. Just say he did another event here, he did another event here. This is just showing you examples how the coding changes. So now it says he had 3 events, 2 were billed, he booked 2, which means he completed 2, he had 1 incomplete, so now his percentage goes to 66.67, which is still not compliance because you need 90%. But of course, if you miss one event at 90%, you have to complete 9 to get back to 90%. But that's how all your data gets tracked, and not sure if that's coded on here yet or not. No, but the coding will be here, and it'll have all your percentages and everything. All that information will be here. This is probably still coded. Yeah, this is still coded to the other sheet. So depending on which setup you want, if you either want all the information here with all your history and events, or the goal sheet here, where that coding, that information would just go here, and that's the way this one's set up right now, so that it forwards to the schedule. All right, so once you're done doing that part at the end of the day, then you just go back to your schedule screenshots here. You just want to take your old schedule, delete it, and that drops all that information out except for the subs. So when you reset your day, that information, because it's can be edited by your host and it's manually put in, you have to manually take that out. Now if you accidentally type into here and do the schedule, you forget you got to do it on the other sheet, it's just going to give you a reference error. I can set a warning on here so it tells you the warning not to do it. But in that case, all you're going to do is delete that out, or your friend is the undo button. So anytime data goes crazy on you, just hit the undo button. If anything major gets messed up, I can always go back in your history and run a backup on it. But most of it I can protect. It just depends on who's doing it, how much experience they have with Google Sheets. If you have none, I'll protect it a little bit better so that you can't make errors. But mainly, all your data is just going to be put in right here, and everything else gets done for you. So just to show you again how easy the schedule is, just say, these are all your hosts. We're just going to take that whole section, we're going to copy it, we're going to put it over here, we're going to paste it, and all this information is going to fill out. So just as simple as that. So if it's completed, there's your information. If you have subs, the sub information will go, and then you go right back to the schedule, and boom, everything's there. Obviously got some some reason that D column, every other one went white lettering for some reason. But all that there we go, and like I said, these drop down boxes will be fully functional. I just didn't do the coding on the demo, but all this will be there. And then once you set it in, if you're waiting for an approval, I just change, the set approval depending on how much of a management team you have. And then when it's confirmed by them, I just change it to confirmed. And then I'll change their status here to, if the event was completed or whatever. When you change it completed, so you have the number up here changed. And that also recalculates your percentage. So like my daily percent would be 100% because 2 of them are completed. And then it shows what it was the day before, and then this is what it would currently be with those completions. So that way you can always make sure your percentage is up. But then again, that's the 150 plan. I will show you how to work it. Now, if you want me to do the entire schedule for you, that would be $300 a month. I only charge $10 a day because I've gotten it down pack and everything coded so easy. I could pretty much get it done for $10 a day, unless you have an extremely lot amount of hosts doing PKs, then we'd have to negotiate. or if you have a management team that will work side by side with me building the schedule, that factors the price. And then we also do host management. Currently, I have to get a new team together for that. We usually charge $500 to $800 a month, depending on the size of the agency and how much the agency is helping. Currently, the hosts that I've had trained doing this with me have gotten hired by other agencies full time, which anyone I train, they're more than welcome to do that full time. I don't hold anybody back. So while I train them, they get paid, and then when the agency wants to hire them on full time to take it over, that I don't have a problem with that. But also, as most of the agencies know, the going rate for just the schedule alone is about $300 a month is the going rate. I know a lot of people pay people just to look at the search and do it, but with this plan here, you get all of it for $300 a month. And I know some agencies outsource it to Philippines. You're more than welcome to give my number to them, and I can actually help them do it a lot easier, because a lot of them, I know they're just searching the IDs, they're building the schedule, and it's probably taking them 2-3 hours a day to do it for little money, when in reality, if they know how to do it right, it would take them 10 minutes. All right, any questions? Drop me a link.